You might have seen the headlines recently. White South Africans, mostly Afrikaners, have started arriving in the United States as refugees. This is the first time in modern history that a U.S. administration, under President Donald Trump, has offered refugee status to white South Africans. The reasoning? Alleged racial discrimination back home. Now this is a move that stirred up a ton of debate, not just in South Africa but around the world. The South African government calls it madness, saying there's no evidence of genocide or systematic persecution of white citizens. President Cyril Ramaphosa even called those leaving cowards, arguing that they're running away from the tough but necessary process of righting apartheid's wrongs. And yet, for the families who've made the journey, the story feels very different. Take Charles Kleinhaus, for example. I caught a snippet of his interview with BBC Africa. Charles' a dad, just a regular guy with a thick Afrikaans accent, and he says, "We just want a place where my kids can go to school without fear, that's all. I love South Africa, but we didn't feel safe anymore." Listening to him, you can hear the exhaustion in his voice, but also hope, like he's desperate to believe in a new beginning. The Trump administration has said these refugees faced racial persecution under South Africa's black-led government. Critics, including the ruling ANC party, strongly disagree, saying these claims are exaggerated or just plain false. But the thing is, this whole situation has real consequences. When the first 49 Afrikaner families landed in the US, they were greeted by American officials, shaking hands and posing for photos. Kids clutched their stuffed animals and little American flags. But not everyone was welcoming. The Episcopal Church, which has a long history of helping refugees resettle, actually pulled out of the government program altogether when asked to help these newcomers. They said the policy clashed with their commitment to racial justice and that it just didn't sit right. Meanwhile, life for these new arrivals is anything but easy. Refugee agencies are stretched thin, thanks to budget cuts in recent years, and these families are being resettled in places like Virginia and Atlanta, often with little more than a suitcase and a sense of uncertainty. South Africa's government insists there's no campaign of persecution against Afrikaners, but for people like Charles, it's not about political statements, it's about his kids and their future. And whether you agree with the policy or not, their stories are now part of a much bigger conversation about race, safety, and belonging in both South Africa and the United States. So what do you think? Is this a humanitarian response or political theater? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. And remember, these aren't just headlines. These are real families trying to find a place to call home.